As always, starting off just a little early, just to make sure everything's working all right. Should be a little less than 2 minutes to go. Um, Everything looks fine, at least from my point of view. It looks fine. Hoping it looks all right from your point of view. Um, it's been a nice day of weather today. Beautiful sunny day, a little cool, but it's now about 42 degrees. I don't know what it's going to do tomorrow, but I was out on the bike this afternoon having some good time. That must be going on. Live chat. There we go. All of one person watching. And I know who that is. It's Michael. Mm-hmm. Ooh, it's 8 o'clock. I'm goofing around here. Is the frequency in use? Nothing heard. Good evening. This is K4PEW. Um, Paul from Mount Juliet with the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net. Is there any emergency or priority traffic? Nothing heard. If there was any priority traffic or emergencies, you'd call 911 first, or that's what you do. But if you have something else we can help you with, even if it is a 911 call, we'll make it for you. If you could jump in there and just say break, I have an emergency, and we'll help. You can break in at any time. For information on this net, you can see us on 146415.net. That's 146415.net. Or you can see us on Yahoo Groups at MJ_SS. There's about 70 something on that group on the email list. Or you can send me an email at Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey at ARRL.net. And we normally meet at 8 p.m. every Wednesday and Saturday night. And we conduct a net on 146.415 FM Simplex, which is our, if you were off frequency, now you can know where to go. The purpose of the net is to support and train ham radio operators to have fun. That's actually for emergency communications and have fun doing it, because we see people, once they get interested in Simplex and they realize they can't hear everybody, they tend to increase the capacity of their stations, either in better radios, more wattage, better antennas, that kind of stuff, higher antennas. So it's kind of neat to watch that happen. It happened with me, and it happens with lots of other people. We invite everyone to use the net to announce amateur radio events, activities, training, and testing, and support the local community. It's a directed net, and all traffic should be coordinated by net control. Do we have any announcements?
I have an announcement.
Yeah, go ahead. Who's that, Jeff?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
We are inviting all amateurs to the Wilson County Emergency Preparedness Net. Tuesdays, 8:30 p.m. on 442 125 with a PL of 100 and a plus offset.
All right, very good. Jeff is announcing to us, inviting everyone to participate in the Wilson County Emergency Preparedness Net that occurs every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. That's every single Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. on 442 125, which has a plus offset and a tone of 100. All right, appreciate it, Jeff. Hope we can round up some folks for you. Any other announcements? All right, and of course, we have the Wilson County Amateur Radio Club's net, which is Thursday night, which is tomorrow, and that's at 8 p.m. on Thursdays, 147.105, a plus offset, and a tone of 156.7. And there is, of course, the Tullahoma Ham Fest, which is it's the 9th of March, and I'll let you look that up. It's at Tullahoma, 9th of March. Yeah, a little less than a month, but a month away. Any other announcements or corrections, or need any fill on any of that information? All righty. We don't have anything else. I'll go ahead and start. I just want to make sure no one has any other announcements. And we're going to be starting from the west today. Who else we got from west of Mount Juliet?
YRS.
Hey, Michael, how are you doing this evening?
Oh, I'm doing good. Had a real busy day at work. I'm a little tired, but other than that, I'm fine in frog hair.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day too. I was out on the bike this afternoon. It was sunny and a little cool, but sunny.
I didn't get a chance to get outside except uh, once at lunch to go to the car, and then when I came home. But it was really nice.
Yeah, that's a problem with jobs that are mostly inside.
Yeah, it's hot in the summer and cold in the winter.
Well, you get to sit by the warehouse door, don't you, and just take in all that hot or cold air.
Yeah, well, it kind of goes both ways. We have the dock doors open when we're loading the trucks and unloading the trucks in summer or winter. So sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's cold.
Yeah, well, just think about the people that have to do that all the time in like a northern climate, or well, today Tennessee's pretty hot, so it's a good example of what hot is in the summer, June or July.
Yeah, the good thing is we get to wear shorts in the warehouse, so that helps out a lot.
Wow, shorts in the warehouse. Most companies wouldn't even allow that, you know.
Well, we're not dealing directly with the customers, so they kind of overlook that.
Are you saying your legs would drive away customers?
It would.
Okay, sounds good. No, some places do it as a safety consideration. I don't exactly know why, but they do. But anyway, all right, good to have you in there, Michael. That was Michael Kilo Mike 4 Yankee Romeo Foxtrot. He's in Belshire. Appreciate you being there, Michael. Who else we got? Maybe there's two more from Belshire, but anybody west of Mount Juliet, please come in. Nobody else west.
Whiskey 4 Alpha, Whiskey Echo.
I caught you listening early, did I, John?
Yeah, I was just running up the stairs.
Okay. Well, you don't want to do that to hurt yourself. You doing all right today?
Oh yeah, I mean it was just one of those. Such a beautiful day. It's one of those days when you realize at sunset that it's starting to set later. Spring is on the way.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to think that winter's over, but there's no guarantees until, well, probably till the end of March anyway.
Yeah, if we can make it through, traditional, I call it tax and tornado season here in Tennessee. I think some of the worst tornadoes we ever had hit right around April 15th once.
Ooh, yeah, that's not good. I know it when I growing up where I did in there on the Canadian border of the Niagara River. You knew it was a hard winter when there was still ice coming down the river in the middle of June.
Did you ever see it? I can't remember the name of the movie, but it was an old silent film starring Lillian Gish that had her actually running from one ice flow to another on the Niagara.
I'm hoping they were using stunt or some kind of fake ice, because that's not exactly safe stuff to do.
No, they claimed it was actually real, and she did it.
Now, those were in the days when actors did their own stunts, apparently. I'll tell you some other time on my experience with ice flows. In fact, I had a friend of mine. I wasn't with him that day, but he was jumping on an ice flow in the river, and it got away from him out into the current, and they never saw him again.
Yeah, I mean, that's. I've seen it in film, but from what I remember, the current really moves fast up there right about when it starts to go over the falls.
Oh, it goes pretty fast when you're in the middle of the river. In the middle of the river, I mean, I couldn't tell you how fast it is, but it's a current you wouldn't want to fight swimming across.
Boy, no way. You'd probably die of hypothermia before you made it.
Well, in the winter you would, for sure. My mother tells me this story how she had a friend who lived across the river, and they decided in their silliness when they were teens that they take the canoe back across the river, which is about, I don't know, half, 3/4 of a mile across a very busy river. Nobody goes out there in a rowboat, if you know what I'm saying. But they came across in a canoe. Never did. I said, what did grandma think about it? She goes, I didn't tell grandma.
ever try to do rope crossings where they would, shoot or launch a rope and then get in a canoe and try to pull themselves across?
That would have been a tough one because it's a long ways across there. Like I said, it's close to. I want to say it's 3/4 of a mile across where I lived on the river.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, that's just an amazing body of water. That whole area right in there.
Oh yeah, no, the Great Lakes is. I don't know. When you grow up with it, you don't think much about it, but you realize every time you look at it, the entire body of the Great Lakes is running down the end of your street.
Yeah, and then going over a cliff.
I know. I was biking one time down there, and a tourist asked me. Uh, he says, and I think he was Italian. It might have been something different, but in a very broken English, he stopped me. He wasn't sure where he was, and he was only 1/4 mile upstream of the falls, but you couldn't see it for the trees. And he's right along the river, the rapids. I mean, the rapids is roaring at that point where I was with the bike. And he says, where's the place where the water goes down into the big hole? I said, just walk down this path a couple hundred yards, and you'll be real close.
Yeah, you can probably feel the spray from where he was asking the question. What's the name of that famous boat that used to, or maybe it still runs? Was it Maiden of the Mist?
Yeah, it's Maid of the Mist. There's two of them actually, one on the Canadian side and one on the American side.
And actually, I mean, those boats actually run under the falls.
Well, they run up to it. I'm afraid they would get beat to death under the Horseshoe Falls. Yeah.
So there's no undercut where you can get up behind it.
Only through a tunnel, which is you have to pay to do. There's one on both sides actually, but no, there's no way you'd go underneath that falls. It's probably on that falls. I'm going to guess, and it's 500,000 gallons a second.
Amazing. Well, anyway, you're sounding really good and strong tonight. It's none of that interference like we've had a couple of times recently.
Well, very good. Appreciate that. And you sound good too, John. And that was John, Whiskey 4 Alpha Whiskey Echo in Bellevue. Good signal. Good to hear you from you, John. I still need to write you a note. I got something I got to tell you. Who else? I'm going to put an X there on your next to your name. All right. Who else we got west of Mount Juliet?
Hello, Paul and the gang. This is Mary watching another super basketball game. We're still number one.
Oh, very good. So obviously they won, I take it?
Absolutely. And hopefully we play again on Saturday, but we got to meet up with Kentucky, so we'll see how that goes.
Well, Kentucky, I don't have to tell you, but even when I didn't live in Tennessee, I knew that Tennessee and Kentucky was a really, really, really big game.
You're right. Always rivals. I hope everybody's doing well out there and having a good week. Enjoyed the sunshine today. That was very welcoming. And I'll pass the mic over to Marty. So you have a good evening, Paul, and we will talk with you at the next net.
Yeah, very good, Mary. Looking forward to Marty. I hear Marty's coming on next. Hey, Marty. Yeah, it was a good day to take the dogs out for a walk. I'll take it. Yeah, it's too bad you can't get the dog on the air. Yeah, that's right. You doing all right this week? Yeah, very good. I'm glad. All right, very good. Good to have you in there, Marty and Mary. That was Mary, Kilo Delta 4 Oscar Echo November, and Marty, KD for Kilo Delta 4 Bravo Quebec Kilo, both in Belshire. Appreciate you both being there tonight. And then, yeah, look forward to hearing about that Kentucky Tennessee game. That ought to be a barn burner, as they say, because Kentucky always seems to put together a good squad. All right, very good. Who else do we have west of Mount Juliet? Please come in. Anybody west of Mount Juliet? South of I-40, please come in. Wow, you got a cold today there, Robin?
Down my throat.
Wow, you sound like you got frogs over there. Yeah, that doesn't sound good. You doing all right otherwise? Oh, okay, good, man. That's the. It sounded like a different person altogether.
Oh no, the power of the dark side.
Yeah, I'm your father, Luke.
I am your father.
I'm telling you, that's one movie that's lasted how many years now? 35. All right, Robin, good to have you in there. That was Kilo 4 Indy Delta Charlie. He's about 6 miles south of me, just west of Mount Juliet Road and east of Percy Priest, and that's Robin. Who else we got south of 40? South of Interstate 40. Please come in.
Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor.
I heard a couple in there, but I got Larry in there on top of everybody. That was Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor. How you doing, Larry?
Doing all right. Oh, I'm gonna let you get them, man, before they get lost again.
All right, very good. Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor in Rockvale. Who else was in there? Somebody else south of 40.
K4
Hey, Donnie, was that you just a minute ago?
No, there was somebody else. I didn't catch who it was.
No, I didn't either. You doing all right? Getting dried out from the days before when it was raining so much? All righty. Well, you're getting all dried out after all this rain?
I tried to go outside today and I couldn't go anywhere. My yard still got water standing everywhere.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I was out chasing one of the dogs down. I was just glad I was wearing shoes because the mud that's, in between where the grass and the mud is got kind of slick and sloppy.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit more rain tomorrow or Friday. It looks like. Tomorrow's supposed to be pretty nice, but got a little bit more of it coming Friday, so we'll wait and see. I'll let you get back to net. Maybe that other person out there will check in here in a minute. Good to hear you on net tonight. 73 so.
Yeah, very good, Donnie. Good to have you in there. That was Kilo 4 Oscar Foxtrot Oscar Donnie, and he's just also about 6 miles south of me, and he's actually in Hermitage, which is just south of Mount Juliet at this point. It's west and it's south, kind of odd, but anyway, east of Mount Juliet Road, and it'll be also east of Percy Priest. Good to have you in there, Donnie. Who else south of 40?
KN4PQX.
KN4PQX. How are you doing this evening?
I am doing well. How are you doing?
Well, sometimes I think I'm dyslexic because I wrote your call down and I wrote down PXQ and I heard it perfectly normally.
That sounds like dyslexia to me.
It's ham dyslexia. So how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. Just taking a break from some homework. You know how it goes.
Yeah, I do. As long as you can keep busy doing that homework, you're in great shape.
Yeah, for sure. Well, actually, I was wondering if you could maybe ask some, or I guess the whole net, because I am looking to put together a roll up J pole, and I'm wondering if anyone would be able to sell me some material for cheap.
Looking for cheap roll-up J-pole materials. Now, were you particular about whether it was? I'm sure that somebody's got some. I probably have some as well, because you can do it in several ways. But in a roll-up J-pole, you can use either twin lead, which would be the kind of old-style TV cable, or you could use ladder line.
Either one would work. I pulled up some an article from what was it? I think maybe QSD or something, but it's has the schematics and stuff. I just need some twin leads, some RJ174A, and the BNC connector.
RJ174A is what now? That number escapes me.
It would be coax. I don't really know. I'm literally just reading it off of this article, so I don't really know.
Oh, I got you. You can usually use just about any that I'm aware of, anyway. But yeah, so it's Joe, correct?
That is correct, and I don't doubt you can use any coax. That's just the one that's on the article. So that's what I'm saying.
Oh no, I understand. Yeah, Joe's looking for some. Being a student, he's working on a limited budget, obviously, but he's looking for some basic materials, a BNC connector, and which I don't have. I don't have any of those, but BNC connector and some coax and some. How far do you have to run with the coax?
So 10 feet or less really is good. And if someone's trying to give me a super good deal, don't feel bad. I just, it's, if I can pay you less than $50 or $20, because that's how much it cost me to actually like buy one pre-assembled, then that'd be good.
I'm with you. They're not too expensive to buy either, but there might be somebody out there who's got one, just wants to give it to you. Like I know where there is one. I lent it out, and I've just said, "Well, hold on to it until we see each other," and we haven't seen each other. So I may have one for you. And your email is not on QRZ, I notice. So is it? You want to give it to me now, or do you want to send me an email?
Either one, I don't really mind either, whichever you prefer, I guess.
Oh, you can give it to me right now. That'd be great.
All right, so Joe.bug, BUG, 634 at gmail.com.
All right, very good. Yeah, if anybody has any of those materials or a spare roll-up J-pole for Joe, you can contact him at, if you didn't hear him, it was Juliet Oscar Echo. In other words, joe.bug, B-U-G, 634 at gmail.com. So you can just contact him directly if you've got something like that to put together, or just cheap materials or free materials, whichever is appropriate. All right, Joe, good to have you in there. And Joe's in Hermitage. That's Kilo November 4, Papa Quebec X-ray. Good to have you in there, Joe. Who else do we have south of 40? Please come in. Hey, Eddie, I don't know if I ever got back to you about, I'd be happy to have somebody make sure that there's a second meeting, because I'm not sure I can always do that. I guess we'd say on the 4th. Let's see, if we do the 2nd, the 4th would be appropriate, the 4th Saturday for breakfast.
No, it don't matter to me. We can just try something whenever several can get together, you know. Or whenever you can make it also.
Oh, it's not that I can or can't. I'm just saying that if we get together to have something, we just do it. We don't want to do it the following weekend, I don't think. I'm just saying to have it 2 weeks apart.
Yeah, that would work, wouldn't it? Every 2 weeks.
Well, it would be, yeah, the 2nd and 4th Tuesday, or excuse me, 2nd and 4th Saturday of every month would sound great. Tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and put an announcement to that effect, and we'll see how many people show up, and I'll make a decent effort to show up as well.
Well, now, I think we got a ham fest that will interfere. Let's see, we've got Tullahoma and Cape City. It might interfere with one or two of them also this month and next month.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you know what's funny is Cave City and Tullahoma are just far enough away for me not to be that interested.
Yeah, they're both worth going to. They're very good ham fest.
Yeah, no, I got you. I do understand. Well, we can give it a try, though. I mean, no matter what day we pick, it's going to be a bad one.
Well, we'll see. With the weather the way it is, you know, it may be a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Eddie, good to have you in there. And this is key. That was Whiskey 4 Echo Bravo X-ray, and it's Eddie, and he's just east of Mount Juliet, just south of 40, about a couple of miles east of Mount Juliet, and just a little bit south of 40. Good to have you in there, Eddie. Who else we got south of 40? Anybody else south of Interstate 40?
Yeah.
I think I heard Kilo 4. Quick, I'm sorry, I was writing it down. Quebec, Papa Romeo. How are you doing today?
Well, thanks. What's with this Valentine thing? I go to the grocery store and you can't even get in the parking lot.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm glad I got a card early. You know, I was actually prepared this time.
Well, even the highway was messed up for just lined up, nobody moving.
I don't know how we turned that holiday and Halloween into magical events, Russ.
Anyway, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing really good, I think. Usually I am. My wife asked me before she says, "Are you ready for the net tonight?" And I said, "Well, after 400 and something, I guess I better be."
Is that all?
It's enough. It's enough. I mean, let's do this. Seinfeld or King of Queens was only on for about 100 episodes, and here we are at 400. So theirs was more work, though. Oh, I know it. Well, again, those kind of productions are much more complicated than what we do. That's for sure. But yeah, which Walmart had you gone to for the cards?
I wouldn't go to Walmart. I just figured that was worse than, the brand name public stores.
Oh yeah. Well, I had actually. It was a week or so ago. I went in to get a card, and probably the woman actually even over told me. She said, "Hey, you can get two cards for one price today." So I said, "Well, great. I'll get a Valentine's Day card." So it saved me a trip. They were Hallmark cards too.
Oh, that's okay. What'd you get for the other card?
Oh no, they were both Hallmark cards. But the one you'd be charged for the higher priced one, whichever one was higher. I don't even remember if one. It might have been the same price. I don't know.
Oh, I get that part. But I was thinking you got Valentine's for one, and what's the other one?
The other one was. Let me got to get my story straight here. My other one was my mother's birthday, her 91st birthday. Which we had a nice big cake from Publix, and I bet it was too big. It was too good. It was so rich, it was almost hard to eat. It was so good.
I love it.
Oh yeah, well for $20 you get a pretty good cake, I'll tell you. All right, Ross, good to have you in there. That's Kilo 4 Quebec Papa Romeo, and he is in Laverne, doing a good job tonight, Russ. On this good signal. Who else we got south 40? Anybody else south of 40? All right, we're moving over to the east then, east of Mount Juliet Road.
WA4ZHI.
There you go. You were standing ready all that time with a sore push to talk finger.
Got translate with quick straw again.
Yeah. How are you doing today, James? Does it get to if are you in a high enough spot? You don't have any flooding issues where you are, do you?
No, I got a sloping backyard, so anything goes back there, but runs down my driveway.
Well, I know it sounds like a silly thing to ask, but when I look east, like from that library parking lot towards you, you look like you're low because that library is so high.
Well, I'm kind of like in a valley, but my backyard is kind of top about 30 feet high and sloped.
Yeah, I got a kick. There was a thing on that next door program, the one on the web, where it connects neighborhoods. It's kind of like a Facebook for homes. But anyway, the one woman who I do not know, she lives east of me. She lives actually in the next county, and she was asking for people to write the Davidson County commissioners to stop building homes in I forget the name of the neighborhood. It's a relatively new one, very expensive home. To stop building homes because it's screwing up the water table and screwing up the flooding and it's screwing up I don't know. And I thought, wait a minute, you just moved into a new house and you're complaining about other people building new houses? Well, it just seems silly. Yeah, there can be problems with drainage, and usually that kind of goes with growth. But if the city's doing their job properly, those problems don't really come up very often.
Yeah, they got a lot of ditches dug out here in culverts.
Yeah, we had when I lived in Florida, there was problems for many, many, many developments simply because they would get an unusually high degree of rain sometimes, and there would be crazy flooding. Oh, it was awful. It took years to get resolved because it involved tons of money, and because Florida being relatively flat, it doesn't run off so easy.
Yeah, I get little small puddles in the backyard, but they don't last very long.
No, I get some of those too, little tiny ones. And no big deal; they go away. All right, very good, James. Good to have you in there. Whiskey Alpha 4 Zulu Hotel India. He's here in Mount Juliet, just east of the library, about 2.5 miles north of me, northeast. Great signal, by the way, James. Anybody else east of Mount Juliet?
Kilo India 4 Sierra India Bravo.
Very good. There was somebody else in there too, Richard. But go ahead. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty doggone good. Just been fiddling around all day. Hope everybody's staying warm and dry as possible. But thank you for what you're doing. Back in the old days when I was on the other band,
called a coffee break at one of the truck stops in East Asheville every week. Every Saturday about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And everybody that wanted to could just meet up over there and have a large time and sit around and drink coffee. Carry on a bunch of nonsense, and I think that's where 80 wants to head. Y'all carry on. Yeah, boys, I'll be back to that.
Oh, I agree. If we just had a regular thing, it doesn't bother me at all. I mean, I probably couldn't, or maybe wouldn't, but I couldn't be able to attend all of them. But it sure would be nice to have a regular place where people would just show up, have some coffee, and have some fun, because it is fun. We're not there for planning wars or anything. All right, that was Richard. He's in Lebanon, and that was Kilo India 4 Sierra India Bravo. And there was somebody else right on top of there. Who else was that? Hey, Wes, how are you doing? Is it well? You're in a great location. Well, you've probably got good drainage, but is it any worse down there than here?
I'm at 700 feet. I'm in a little bowl locally. By the way, I was going to say, James is always the same signal strength as you are. And I know exactly where he is. I just wanted to mention that. You two are always the same.
Isn't that amazing? Because his antenna is inside.
Oh, I know. And I know for a fact he's a little bit lower. So it must be a function in that case of, I don't know, latitude, a little bit more than north. I don't know, I just want to mention that.
I don't know. Maybe James is just a stealth great ham operator, and he's got a 150-foot like motorized tower.
I don't know, but it's consistent every week. And on the opposite report of Robin, I could barely hear Robin, so I don't know what's up with him. He made a change last couple weeks, and I could hear him great, and now nothing. KE4
I think Robin needs a repeater.
We're not going to use the R word.
I know that's what he'd say. All right, very good. That was Wes, Kilo Echo 4 Tango Whiskey India, and he is just a little bit northwest of Watertown. Good signal. Reporting that James is about the same signal strength to him as I am, which is unusual, I think, because James has got an indoor antenna. A very nice one, but it's indoors. So I don't know what's going on with the atmospheric conditions that cause, geographic, probably the geography is just right for that signal for whatever reason. I'll have to plot that out on the map. All right, very good, Wes. Who else we got south of 40? Or east of 40, east of Mount Juliet. Hey, how are you doing? I understand you got another antenna up there for HF.
Yeah, I think so. A lot of help from Robin, but got a TA33 up.
So you already got it working?
Roger.
All right, is it working good for you?
Yeah, I think we're doing well. It's got great SWR across all the bands, so kind of waiting for conditions to get a little bit better to see how well it does.
Now that's how many elements is that?
It's a 3-element tri-bender.
Okay, the one with traps, right?
Roger.
Good. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. That's 10, 20, 10, 15, 20? Yeah, great. Well, I hope you have a good time with that. That's nice you got that ability to do that. And that was Stan with a good signal out of Lebanon as well, north of downtown Lebanon. And it's Kilo Mike 4 Hotel Quebec Echo. Good to have you in there, Stan. Yeah, good luck with that antenna. Sounds like you got a good thing going there. Who else east of Mount Juliet? Hey, checking in twice, kind of. How you doing, Jeff?
I didn't know if you got me or not. LOL.
Oh, no, I got you. I just usually don't write it. I did in your case. I wrote it down anyway, so I wouldn't forget in case you didn't check back in for some reason. But yeah, how you doing tonight, Jeff?
Doing good. Thanks for letting me put the announcement out.
Oh yeah, we got no reason not to. And I might say that again. There's a repeater net for those who may not have been here. The first thing in the net, the Wilson County has an emergency preparedness net that they do on their repeater. It's on Tuesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Which the repeater is 442.125 and a plus offset and a PL of 100. Hard to forget that one. 442.125. That's 8:30 on Tuesday. So everything else going well for you, Jeff? It was nice to meet your wife this past Saturday.
Yeah, everything's going okay.
Well, I hope so. Well, very good. Every time I do your call, I get it messed up. I don't know why. I'm not going to say what I thought it was because I'm pretty sure I wrote down, where am I? Hold on. Don't tell me. I want to make sure I had it right here. It's whiskey. It's, yeah, I'm going to have to look. It's Whiskey Delta 4, isn't it?
Correct. Whiskey Delta 4.
Well, the reason it threw me, I was writing it down in a hurry and I put down Bravo and I said, nah, it ain't Bravo. It's Delta. All right. Very good, Jeff. That's Whiskey Delta for Bravo Whiskey Charlie. And that's Jeff. He's also in Lebanon and he's active in that, in the Wilson County net over there for the emergency preparedness. Good to have you in there, Jeff. Who else saw the 40? Or east of Mount Juliet? I'll get that straight. Anybody else east? All right, and we'll take late check-ins then. How many we got? Anybody late check-ins? Please come in.
You forgot north.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. I started on the west. All right, north of Mount Juliet. Please come now.
WV0NOL.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me. I was, I don't know, I may have said this before, but I was doing I had a pile up. I was working as net control on a ship down in, we were just outside the Gulf of Mexico, well, just outside of the bay in Tampa Bay in the Gulf of Mexico. And because we had, I don't even know how many we had on the air, but it was a real big pile up. And I realized early on I had to go by, I would say working one station, two stations, three stations, and I actually accidentally skipped one of the numbers, and somebody came on with like legal limit and said, "Hey, what happened to Five Land?" I was a little embarrassed by that. But anyway, how you doing tonight? Whiskey Bravo Zero and OO.
I'm here. I wasn't sure you were talking to me.
No, I gathered I didn't do a good job of doing that. How you doing tonight? Pretty good.
Sitting here listening to most everybody and not doing anything too exciting.
No, usually exciting things are dangerous things.
Not at my age.
I'm with you. I start to make decisions about not doing anything that involves climbing or running.
Yeah, I have a garage that has about a 10-foot ceiling, and I've got cabinets and racks and crap stored everywhere. And so when I decide I need something, getting the courage to get the ladder out and climb up to the top of it is it takes a couple of days sometimes. Depends on how bad I need it.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. No, it is dangerous. It's funny. While I'm a pretty active guy, I get out and bicycling almost every day, and I realize I'm losing little bits of balance, little bits of coordination. Not tremendous, but enough to make it so. I don't really think I want to do that.
Yeah, I understand. I live out here close to the lake and have been sailing on Old Hickory Lake for over 30 years. And I tell you what, it gets a little tough at my age to do it. I always need to be looking for crew.
I'll bet. How big a boat do you have?
It's a 27. Little for our lake.
Well, it's big enough.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. Had the same boat over 30 years, so I think I bought it in 85 or 86, something like that.
I'd say you got your money's worth, but I wouldn't be sure of that considering boats take quite a bit of elbow grease and cash to keep them up.
It's a hole in the water that you pour money in.
Oh yeah, well, the Navy cured me of boats. I mean, I always like boats. Don't get me wrong, but having had to do the work of maintaining a Navy destroyer in lots of ways, including painting, chipping, and working over the side and doing all kinds of nutty things, I decided that at least saltwater sailing wasn't for me.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things it almost is a lifestyle. And you kind of get to the point where you get in auto mode and can take care of it pretty well. So anyway, that's what I do for fun when I'm not doing ham radio, I guess.
You don't have one. You don't have a radio on the Sailcraft.
Yeah, I do. I've had several on it. I even had an HF rig on it one time.
Oh wow. Yeah, a friend of mine just got rid of a boat. He had a 56-foot cruiser, cabin cruiser, and he just got rid of it because he got a girlfriend. And she wasn't about to because he was a live aboard. So she decided for him that this wasn't going to happen if they didn't move into an apartment.
Yeah, I've been living for another woman.
We won't get into that. All right, very good, Mark. And that's Mark in Hermitage. It's Whiskey Bravo Zero, November Oscar. Great signal. Learn something new every day. 27-foot sailcraft. That's nice. It's nice to be outside. I think that's the best part about being out on the water. Just being outside is so much fun. Refreshing, I guess. It's different than being out in traffic and mowing the lawn and doing all that stuff. All right, who else we got? North. Hey, hold on one second, Brent. We got Kilo Bravo 9, Romeo Kilo Kilo. You doing all right there, Frank?
Yeah, just trying this other radio, my other radio that I haven't used in a while. I don't have a way to A and B it quick enough, but it seems like it doesn't hear as well. At least I'm not hearing some of the people I normally do.
You say the TYT doesn't hear as well. Are you talking about the handheld or the mobile unit?
This is a quad band mobile unit. Again, it could be conditions. I don't have a way to A and B it at the moment quickly enough to do it. But yeah, no, I didn't hear some of the people that I normally hear a little bit better than I did today. But it could also be conditions. So I don't know yet.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It makes it a little. It's hard to discern what's right and wrong. But the TYT I have, the little handheld, man, that thing it's built like it's almost a commercial unit.
Oh yeah, I'm real happy with it. It's a nice radio. It probably didn't need the 6 and 10 on it. It's FM only, but for the amount of money it was, I had it 2 years. It was in one of my cars that I don't have radio in anymore. So I went to D-Star, so I put that in the car. This one came out, but it's really nice. And I just wanted to make sure that it's working. I'm going to probably get a cord for it so I can use my desk mic. This is a handheld stock mic that came with it.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't really pay that much attention when somebody is using a stock mic. I really don't. I hear everybody, as you can imagine, pretty well, but uh, it does make a difference when you have a really higher quality mic like I'm using right now. I get good reports on it, but I also know I realize when somebody's using a really high quality mic rather than a stock mic.
Oh yeah, even my desk mics, it's the low cost. It's sold as an MFJ, but it's actually a rebranded. I forget the exact company that makes it, but so it wasn't expensive or nothing like that. But it's better than It's better than handheld. Now it doesn't work at all on sideband. When we try to sideband that, I always switch it back for the handheld mic.
Oh, is that right? Yeah, I think I mentioned to you guys that well, both of my desk mics, the Kenwood and the Yaesu, both seem to do a very good job. Surprisingly well. I don't know why. I mean, they're $150 about each of those mics, so it's not like they're cheap. But I think I mentioned I bought that cheap radio, that 25-watt for the car, and it had a mic, and it was exactly, and I mean exactly the same, everything on it as far as functionality, and you could see that it was made at the same factory, but same factory as the Kenwood mic that came as a stock mic for my TMV, the $350 radio, and I get an $89 radio had the same mic on.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta wonder, is it a really good copy or is it just made at the same place? But this one, is the TYT 9800, which is basically the gauge of the 8900. They copied it. I mean, it works exactly the same way as far as the buttons on the front and everything. Just set of numbers, A through F.
Well, boy, they don't have any shame about copying stuff, do they?
Not at all. It's actually, I've seen this thing sold as like, I don't know, 6 different brands. They're all really the same thing. But I figured I'd try it. I got it at a hand quest 2 years ago, and figured, okay, let me try this brand. I was hoping it wasn't like the B one. Then it ended up being a lot nicer than I thought it was gonna be.
And that one, that quad band goes for about what, $200?
Yeah, right at 200. That's correct.
I tell you, that's pretty cheap for a quad band radio.
Yeah, no, it comes with that and the detachable, head unit on it, the face and the cable and the bracket and everything. It's pretty complete. It even came with the data cable. I used Chirp to program it.
Oh, wow. In case anybody's interested on that remote head, not that anybody's going to do what we did, but we had a remote operation at the hospital where we had a shack in Florida, and the shack was in the basement, and the antenna was on the roof, which was 11 floors above, and we mounted. We took the head and had it mounted down in the shack, and then we took the radio, the whole body of the thing, and we mounted it right underneath the deck, underneath the roof, and that was around, let's see, whatever, about 15 feet times 11 floors, which is 170 feet remote operation. Worked great.
Yeah, that's amazing that you can do that. It depends also like where the microphone plugs in. Like if the microphone goes all the way back to the main unit, then you'll have to extend that as well.
Yeah, I don't think that one, the Yaesu, I don't think did. I believe the Yaesu plugged right into the head, but I'm not positive about that.
Yeah, my big icon does that. So I've seen both kinds. The CYT is going into the main body, so you wouldn't be able to do that.
No, I can't imagine, but yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm almost positive that's what the way the Yaesu is. All right, very good. We had Frank in there, and that was Kilo Bravo 9 Romeo Kilo Kilo. Good signal tonight, there, Frank. And I think Brent was out there. Kilo Echo 4 Romeo Victor Quebec.
How are you doing tonight, Paul? This is Kilo Echo 4 Romeo Victor Quebec.
Yeah, very good, Brent. How you doing up there? I should down there. You're kind of low, but you're up there.
Yeah, doing fine, doing fine. I was just listening to you guys talking about the Tuesday night net for WEMA. I'm part of that group. We've also got a West, repeater over here too, and that's going to be 444.750, and that's going to have a DCS code of 503 on it. We need to get more activity on that one. 111 is pretty active on that Tuesday night. The net is lasting about 20 minutes.
All right, very good. By the way, there is that's what Brent was just saying. There's a Wilson County Emergency Preparedness Net has another repeater which is farther west than Lebanon because we're west. Where is that located, by the way, Brent?
It's got to be pretty close because I can hit it with 0.5 milliwatts from my house.
Okay, very good. I'll have to give that a try. That's 444.75 plus offset and a DCS of 5. Man, I messed up my numbers here. What is it, DCS again?
Should be 503. I've got a polarity code of RN on it.
Okay, obviously it's a registered nurse polarity code. There's a DCS of 503RN. I'm not sure what that means, not being a repeater guru. But anyway, 444.750 plus offset a DCS of 503, and there's an RN in there somehow. And that's on Tuesday nights, 8:30. If you would like to participate, they'd like to see some more participation, which sounds pretty good for emergency preparedness things. So everything else all right, Brent?
Yeah, everything else is jumping, doing good.
Yep, I'm with you. You're still only working a couple days a week?
Yep, Fridays and Saturdays.
Man, that's killer. But you can't, what do you do, sleep all day Monday?
No, actually, I tell you, it's such a quick turnaround. I go in at 4 on Friday, get off Saturday morning at 8, get back there at 4 that afternoon, get off Sunday morning at 8, and there you call it.
Man, oh man, that's killer.
Yeah, I totally love
Oh yeah, I think I might have mentioned to you at one of the employees' requests, instead of doing uh, five 8-hour days, we went to 4 10s, and we scheduled it with the two shifts so that everybody worked, had a weekend, either Thursday, Friday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Everybody had 3-day weekends, except for the guys that had to work. No, everybody got 3-day weekends like that. And the guys thought I was king of the earth with 3-day weekends for forever.
Yeah, St. Thomas, when I was working over there, we had we did 12-hour shifts one time, and it was kind of crazy because over there it was just too long to work at 12.
12 can be a stretch depending upon the job. You're right. And the fact that some organizations will show you statistically, especially in manufacturing, that quality will start to slide after 10.
Well, sort of safety.
Yeah, that kind of goes without saying. Yeah, if you're working with mechanical equipment, not a good idea. But my gosh, when I was was working construction, and in the summer we worked 5 12s, and by the end of Friday, I was conked out, even though I was only 23 or 24 years old. Man, it's a long work week.
Yeah, when I worked in manufacturing, I was over. One of my jobs was with safety, and I kept growling about people working 12-hour shifts. So finally, we had to search through a bunch of packages and find a guy's finger that he knocked it off and pick up shrink wrap.
Yeah, those kind of things those are no good. No good. All right, very good, Brent. Good to have you in there. He's in Northwest Wilson, as was Frank. If I didn't say that, he was at Kilo Bravo 9, Romeo Kilo Kilo. He's also in Northwest Wilson County. Brent, good to have you in there. You good signal. And man, I envy you with those job hours. That's great. Just working it's a long days, but 2 days a week is awesome. Who else? I see Dennis is in there. I just looked at the text thing here. Anywhere, well, north of Mount Juliet.
Kilo Uniform 4, X-Ray Quebec.
Hey, how are you doing tonight?
Oh man, this is like the best net ever. Let me look. I've spent I don't know how much money over the years on ham radio equipment, and it didn't work. So what you're telling me, all I got to do is buy a 50-foot plus cabin cruiser, and my XYL will leave.
Yeah, that's probably true.
All right, I got something to look forward to now. Oh man, I don't know nothing. Just sitting back enjoying the net, doing a good job tonight, brother. I appreciate what you do.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, that would be women have a real difficult time, even on that 56-foot cabin cruiser my friend had. The toilet, shower, sink was in probably a space, you had to step outside the head to change your mind,
Oh yeah, man. I don't know if I could live on the water. I've probably had bass boats since I was 15 years old, and I'd trade them out every couple of years. Up to a couple of years ago, that I just kind of got sick of it. You're always sinking money into it, so I just don't think I could live on the water.
Well, yeah, in fact, the bigger the boat, the more the money. And he had twin marine, inboard outboards, and he had issues with heat exchangers and the cooling systems, and it was just one big headache after another. So I'm sure he's probably relieved after all those years.
I really enjoy the lake. I've spent a lot of time on Old Hickory since I was a kid, and I love it. But man, mosquitoes and the winter time, I'm out. But I wouldn't mind having something. I mean, I got it. The most I get out of it now, I've got a little kayak, and I go out and do some bass fishing on the weekends, and that's about it.
Well, you might have heard me say earlier that boats are neat, but the Navy cured me of wanting to own a boat unless I owned a destroyer or a frigate or something. I had that much money to have a crew, to manage it. But the best part, I've done it since though. The best part about using a boat is you rent one, then you just give it back when you're done.
Oh yeah, man. They've got some kind of thing where you can pay so much a year, and you can just call and they'll set you out a boat. And I thought that was a pretty good deal.
Of course, a better deal is you get the boat rental, and then they also throw in about 12 pounds of fish.
Yeah, that'd work. Yeah, it'd be nice, but don't always happen.
All right, Tim, good to have you in there from Hendersonville. Little marriage divorce tip: own a boat, you can get rid of your wife. Usually, or the other way around. All right, and again, Tim in Hendersonville, Kilo Uniform 4, X-Ray, Quebec. Good talking to you, Tim. Again, good signal. And was there somebody else in there north? Dennis, are you in there? Somebody's got a new Bofang with their siren. Anybody else in there north of Mount Juliet?
Comment home.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if you saw on the chat side, but we have a station in Ukraine that's watching on the YouTube feed.
Oh, wow. Did not know that. Yeah, it's hard for me to read those and on the Ukraine. That's neat.
Yeah, that's I thought that was great.
Well, yeah, all the better. I mean, he can't exactly participate, but I'm glad he can at least watch and watch. He's unfortunately he's listening. Well, I hope he speaks English, and it sounds like he probably does if he's watching this and he's seeing me here in Mount Juliet, Tennessee, the center of the known universe.
Okay, back to that.
All right, very good. It's also the cultural center of the universe. I don't know if you knew that. Anybody else north of Mount Juliet, please come now. Kilo 4, Uniform Echo Yankee. How are you doing tonight? Very good. I was, you may have heard me say early, it's actually amazing to me that we've done over 400 of these things in the last 4+ years. Yeah, but doesn't seem like that many really. Just because it's fun, and if it isn't fun, I wouldn't be doing it. If I was working for a living, wasn't always fun, but I had to do it. But this I don't have to do, but I find it fun. So how are you doing, Joe?
I'm doing pretty good. Just trying to keep my head above water.
Yeah, probably figuratively and literally.
Yeah, like I said, I stood up kind of high, but all my neighbors is flooding.
Yeah, it was one of the guys that lived. I may have said this before. One of the guys down the street from me. He's the only guy I know in this neighborhood. It's reasonably nice homes. They're not, not monstrous homes, but one of the guys who lives on a hill. He's got instead of having an asphalt driveway or a concrete driveway, his was gravel. And after that big heavy rain, about 50% of his gravel's down the road and down the ditch and down the road a little bit. I'm sure it was not the first time it's happened to him.
Last year I had cause to have to go over to Central Arkansas to get work. GPS, Google Maps, for some reason, took me up along the Ohio River and across the Mississippi there at Cairo, Illinois.
Oh yeah, sounds great. I've used the GPS for good things, and it's also taken me on crazy paths as well.
But the rivers and everything was all flooding at the time that I was up there, and when I got across the river there at Cairo and started off through through Missouri area there, uh, they built the road up on about a 25 or 30-foot berm. And I can say from experience that if the government decides to build a road on top of a 25 or 30-foot berm, you probably don't need to build a house over there in that bottom.
No, I don't think so. Man, oh man. Now that berm was along the Ohio River.
Actually, this one was on the Mississippi. It was right there where the Ohio and the Mississippi come together.
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't think I've ever seen. The only one that I've seen that there's only two I've seen like that, and they didn't have roads on top of them, and that was at least I don't think they did. The one was down there in New Orleans on that berm, that protects the Mississippi from overflowing, and the other one was in Lake Okeechobee where you have to go. I think there is actually a road that goes over it. I think, if I remember correctly. I don't recall now. It's been so long.
Yeah, but like I said, this was for whatever reason the government decided to build this road up like that. So and people had built houses out there, and of course they were up to the window sills in water.
Yeah, they should. Well, I don't know. You'd think they'd know better, but apparently the land was cheap, so I don't know. Well, very good. Hey, good to have you in there, Joe. That was Kilo 4 Uniform Echo Yankee, and he is in. Let me think for a second. I forgot. Oh yeah, Mount Juliet. He's right here. Oh, very good, Joe. Where I forgot where you are in Mount Juliet. Where is that approximately in Mount Juliet?
I'm off the parking lot formerly known as Highway 109.
Oh, that's right. That's right. 109. Yep, you're right. It is. I haven't been up there recently. Are they still working on it?
Yeah, it's kind of like the Hotel California. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave.
Yeah, well. Yeah, it's a busy, busy road, even when it wasn't being worked on. All right, very good, Joe. Again, that's Kilo 4 Uniform Echo Yankee, Mount Juliet over by 109. Anybody else north, please come in.
Recheck.
All righty, or bad check, which is it?
TV9RKK. No, I just was going to clarify. You had asked a question. I was just waiting to make sure everybody was done on the north there. But that west repeater is by Willoughby Station in that area right there, and it's actually 503NN. Use double N. If you use RN, you may not hear it. Because that means transmit and receive. Both are N.
Okay, NN. I wouldn't have guessed that, but that's again that repeater is over here in the northwest. Well, it's on the kind of on the northwest side of Wilson County, and that's 444.750 plus offset and the DCS of 503N. That's NN. Nancy. All right, or November, whichever you prefer. All right, thanks, Frank. Anybody else north? Please come in. 8 check-ins, please come in. Hey, Scott, you surviving the day?
Running to Nashville this afternoon. That's about it.
Are you able to discern on your daily travels if the even minutely if the traffic's getting progressively worse as each week moves on?
It's gotten worse over the last years, for certain. Especially in the morning. I used to leave the house 7 on Wednesday. And I got on the road at 5:30, no big deal. 6, no big deal. 6 o'clock, no big deal. It's ridiculous. Now you can get on the road at 5:15.
Oh, is that big of a difference, man? Yeah, Tim told me that too, who lives down there in Murfreesboro. He says, it takes him, and he's leaving in mid-afternoon to get up to the northwest corner by the airport there, by northwest of Nashville, up by the jail. He said I think he said it takes him the better part of an hour every day to get up there. Murfreesboro.
Back to your boat topic. You know what boat stands for, don't you?
I'm not sure.
Breaking out another bound.
Yeah, I'm sure that's true. I've looked at boat prices over off and on again, and every time I look at them, I say, I don't think I want to spend that much money twice.
Exactly. Okay. I agree with the last comment you made. Just rent the thing. Do it 2 or 3 times a year. That's not the average person takes the boat out of that.
Yeah, and plus you get to trash up your front yard by leaving it sit out there in the trailer.
That's true. All right, carry on.
All right, Scott. I say that it's funny because a lot of people's boats spend 90%, 98% of their time sitting in the driveway or the garage or the front lawn, and you wonder why they own a boat. It would be cheaper to rent one, believe me. All right, good to have you in there. That's Scott on Laverne, Kilo 1 Sierra Papa Delta. Anybody else late check-ins? Please come in.
Kilo Delta 4 Zulu Golf Yankee.
Hey, how you doing there, Ed? Were you waiting to be last?
Well, no, I just enjoyed listening and did come in a little late. But anyway, good evening to everyone on the net. Kilo Delta 4 Zulu Golf Yankee. Ed.
Yeah, very good, Ed. Good to have you in there. And that's Ed. He's in Shake Rag down there by Shelbyville. And that's Kilo Delta 4 Zulu Golf Yankees. he's probably the second farthest if Steve doesn't. Well, he's the first farthest if Steve up in Kentucky doesn't check in, but he's the farthest normally, at least recently, down there in Shake Rag. I don't even know what that distance is. I'm sure I've measured it. What is it, 40 miles to me, maybe?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know just what the crow flies is. Maybe I need to put my signal on the crow someday and just let it shake it out for you.
Yeah, well, actually, it'd be better if you get a B. He'll run in a straight line.
Yeah. Good evening to you, Paul. I'll let you have it back here. I'm drinking a little coffee there, trying to stay awake for the rest of the night. You know how that is. We drink a cup of coffee this late at night. But anyway, appreciate you letting me in. Hope you had a good day, and I hope you had a good night thus far. Kilo Delta 4 Zulu Golf Yankee. Good night.
Yeah, very good, Ed. Ed's got a nice setup down there. Great signal to me. Kilo Delta 4 Zulu Golf Yankee, and he's just around Shelbyville there in a place called Shake Rag. Anybody else late check-in?
Kilo Romeo 4 Alpha Zulu. Good evening, Paul.
Kilo Romeo 4 Alpha Zulu. I forgot who that is.
Tim down here in Murfreesboro. Another Tim.
Oh, yes. How are you this evening?
Doing fine. Just turned the radio on. It was the other bank. It was heard you guys talking, so I thought I'd check in. Hope everybody's having a good night.
Oh, yeah, we're doing great. And you have a great signal there. Murfreesboro is real easy for me anyway. On hearing people, I be mobile and, even handheld sometimes works pretty good to me. But you sound great.
Likewise, sir. Likewise, you always do. Good, fine setup here. All right, turn it back over to you. Everybody have a good night. Kilo Romeo 4 Alpha Zulu, Tim and Murfreesboro. Y'all have a good.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. And again, that's Kilo 4 Romeo Alpha Zulu, and he's in Murfreesboro with a great signal. Pegging my meter. There was somebody else in there, I think, too.
Kilo Mike 4 November Yankee.
Ah, very good. How are you tonight, Bill?
Oh, just fine. I've been sitting there listening to everybody, and I said, sooner or later, I'm going to get in there.
Yeah. Well, we're a lot more crowded than we were a couple of years ago. Even 1 year ago, we were only averaging about 12, 13, and here we are not quite a year later, and we're doing averaging about 25, 26. So, yeah, it's kind of busy.
See how you get that bigger is when you go to breakfast, as you pay for it, more people start getting on here.
Yeah, well, yeah, Bill, you need to know I'm independently poor.
I hope you got more than I got.
Well, we do all right, but when they talk about the 1%, I'm not the 1%. I assure you, I might be the lower third of the 99%.
I get much lower. The mailman's not even going to come bring my mail.
I just be able to roll it downhill.
Yeah, some days I wonder when he's coming.
No, I hear you. No, I've lived a fairly, I'll just say, modest lifestyle. My biggest, I hate to get into that stuff, but the worst part about the best way to lose money is to get divorced a couple of times, and I did that. So that's, I'd be in different shape if I hadn't, lost 2 houses and lots of cash, and I'd be a lot happier. Well, happier isn't the right word. I'd be a lot more affluent, to use that term loosely, than I am now.
Well, you got to look at that as a learning experience. That's what it amounts to.
Yeah, an expensive learning experience. Yeah. Well, you know how that goes. And again, I wouldn't advise if you can avoid a divorce, avoid a divorce. Anyway, that's just my words of wisdom there. Actually, just find the right woman and you won't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, you're having a good night tonight, so I better let it go and let you get back with someone else. So, Kilo Mike 4NNY will be done for the night.
Yeah, very good, Bill. And that was Bill, Kilo Mike 4, November Yankee, and he's in Murfreesboro. Is there anybody else late check-ins? Please come in. I want to fall into the next category. Dennis said, I saw him on the thing here. He said he was going to wait till 9 o'clock, and he's not there. That's W9BOQ. Not there. So we're going to go into the lollygaggers, lurkers, sandbaggers, scanner listeners, SDR, donglers, preppers, and end-time survivalists. Please go now. Wants to own up to being an end-time survivalist. Well, very good. We had 25 check-ins, which is becoming our kind of new normal. Although I don't really keep stats, it's just the stats I keep in my head. But we seem to be doing all right, and I'm glad for everybody who checks in. Appreciate your patience. It'll be taking an hour and 9 minutes or so. And obviously, you can review how you sound to me on the. I did mention at the front end, but you can see that on Brain Trusts, BrainTrusts, or you can just look at my call, Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey on YouTube in the search block there, and you'll find the most recent dated. You have a date on every one of the titles, so you can find the one you want to listen to. All right, well, listen, appreciate everybody being there. I'll be hanging around for a little bit. It's Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey 73. Appreciate everybody who was there.